This is the 6th class of the course. ये अपनी 6वीं क्लास है. सो आज अपना फोकस होएगा डेटा ते. सो ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਪਿਛਲੀਆਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਲਾसेस ਅਟੈਂਡ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ ਕਿ ਡੇਟਾ ਇਜ਼ ਦ ਫਰਸਟ ਸਟੈਪ ਇਨ AI. So all the students who attended our previous classes, they probably know that data is the first step in creating AI models. But there is a story behind data. Like, we didn't came here just in few days or few years. It took us nearly a century to came here. So what happened, what it went, how it went. So I'll give a little bit flavor today, and we'll connect the entire story which we learned in the past with the data. We'll start learning slightly data in Python as well. So जो भी पिछले kind of कुछ lectures ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ, end of the day AI ਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ step data ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ we need data to create powerful systems. How it all happened, data ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਇਆ, ਅੱਜ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਆ, ਥੋੜੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਇਹਦੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਦੇਖਾਂਗੇ, ਓਵਰਵਿਊ ਦੇਖਾਂਗੇ, and further ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿੱਧਰ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ. You will get an idea, like once you see the entire picture, ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਵੱਡੀ picture ਦੇਖਣੀ ਆ ਤਾਂ then you actually get a more understanding of why we are here and what it is all about. बहुत सारे बच्चे नवे भी ज्वाइन किए ने आज. I know, like the many new students. So if you're not registered, you can register for the course at this link. We do keep track of the attendance, and if your attendance is like more than a certain number, I've shared it in the past lectures. We'll give you the attendance certificate, like the participation certificates, which will be signed by me. So it will help you to add it in your resumes, and probably if you want to apply further for the jobs as well. Okay. So whatever questions you have, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜੋ ਵੀ questions ਨੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ chat ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ. I will stop intermediate at few steps to read the chat and answer the questions also. So from the past lectures, if you have any questions, you can write it in the chat. Okay. And like I said, ਇਹ ਆਪਣਾ 6ਵਾਂ class ਹੈ. So last pure 5 classes online recorded available ne. I'll show that as well a little bit later. So you can actually follow them. Apne live classes are a little bit have more discussions. I often take care of more Q&A as well, and online lectures are often slightly shorter. So I try to keep only the technical content online without going into much other deeper details. जो अपन live lecture which discuss करते हैं most of the time. Okay. Online YouTube ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰੇ ਚੈਨਲ ਤੇ smaller like videos ਮਿਲ ਜਾਣਗੇ for first class, second class, third class and so on. There are many students ਜਿਹੜੇ first second class ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ register ਕੀਤੇ. So you can actually follow it. In the next, when I will stop, I will put it in the chat for you all to follow. Okay. Okay. So let's continue the today's focus on data, which we want to learn the story of data through the similar concepts. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਕੁਝ lectures ਵਿੱਚ ਪੜ੍ਹੇ ਨੇ, and then we'll connect it further. So past lectures which मैं discuss किया था course क्यों कर रहे हैं, what is the fundamental need, right? So we saw this chart many times. ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹ figure काफी बारी देखा. In the first there were 18th or 19th century fuel based industry. Age of power came in the 19th century. 20th century actually came the internet or age of connectivity. Internet or age of connectivity was a time when a lot of abundant data was created. We had data in so many different portions segregated. When we are able to connect everything together, now we actually realize the amount of data we have. And all this data resulted into the age of intelligence, that now, since the data was collected, stored, available to many like engineers, scientists, companies, they learned how to use it. ਇਹਦੀ ਛੋਟੀ ਜੀ ਸਮਰੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ 18th 19th century ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਫਿਊਲ ਬੇਸਡ ਰੈਵੋਲੂਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਇਆ, ਇਲੈਕਟ੍ਰਿਸਿਟੀ 19th century ਦੇ ਮਿਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਗਭਗ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਣੀ ਹੋਈ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀਲਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ. 20th century ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਟ ਕਨੈਕਟੀਵਿਟੀ around after 1960, internet was born at UCLA, Stanford, all those universities like created the first ARPANET. Connectivity ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ we realize ਕਿ how much data we have. Connectivity ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰਾ data ਹੈ. Data started collecting from like all of us. ਵੈਬ ਤੇ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਵੀ ਐਕਟੀਵਿਟੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਜੋ ਵੀ ਆਨਲਾਈਨ ਬੁੱਕਸ ਆਪਾਂ ਲਿਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਰਿਸਰਚ ਪੇਪਰ ਲਿਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਬਲੌਗਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲਿਖਦੇ ਹੋ, ਪੋਸਟਸ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਹੋ, ਇਨਫੈਕਟ ਆਪਾਂ ਜੋ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਰਿਕਾਰਡ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਇਟਸ ਆਲਸੋ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟਿੰਗ ਡੇਟਾ ਆਨਲਾਈਨ। ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਡੇਟਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸੀ। ਸੋ all the intelligence you see around you is because now we had access to so much data. Like this was the precursor. Okay. So in fact skills and jobs ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਲੈਕਚਰਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਕਿ why what is happening in the future, right? So the main reason all these things are happening, right, like data scientist, data engineer, you see there's a data in all of this. AI engineer, forecasting, vision, all of these careers rely on data. So the first step of data existed now at every industry. So you are in agriculture, there is agriculture data, there's healthcare data, the healthcare systems, energy data, like there are smart meters which record at a city level, at a household level. Finance the data record hunda hai, retail the data, like almost every big city has a retail shop which is recording the data, like how much sales happen. Manufacturing company, automobiles company record the data. So all these skills started emerging everywhere because of data. ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਸੈਕਟਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਓ, ਐਗਰੀਕਲਚਰ, ਹੈਲਥ ਕੇਅਰ, એનર્ਜੀ, ਉੱਥੇ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਣ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਡੇਟਾ ਹਰ ਸੈਕਟਰ ਨੇ ਰਿਕਾਰਡ ਕਰਨਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਓਕੇ, maybe companies also realize ki not only the tech companies which early started recording data, all your companies today in any other sector are vastly recording data of all sorts. Because of that, the first step of AI, like we needed access to data, like happened. ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗੇ। So recently ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ just a news share ਕਰਦਾ ਕਿ like Meta is laying off in this week, they started laying off a lot of engineers. But ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੀ news ਪੜੋਗੇ, ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ outlets say that you will see that they are actually hiring ML engineers and that hiring is expedited. So ਭਾਵੇਂ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ jobs ਨੂੰ ਕੱਢ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, traditional jobs, they want ML engineers and they are trying to hire more and more ML engineers because like Facebook, Meta, Instagram, they have so much data from all of us. Now they can do so many smart things which was not possible just a few years ago. ਆਪਾਂ ਕੁਝ working demos past lectures ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇਖੀਆਂ, like so this is one of our recorded lecture. So ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ pre class ਵਿੱਚ online ਹੀ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਏਗਾ. This lecture is available online. In this lecture, we discussed how Amazon, Google, Spotify, Netflix, Instagram, they all kind of make services for you of different types. Like Amazon knows what products you may like, Google knows what videos you are going to watch next, Spotify knows like what kind of music you like, Netflix knows what movies you are going to watch next, Instagram knows what friends or post you are going to like, right? ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਕੰਪਨੀਆਂ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ? ਲਾਈਕ Amazon ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਕਟਸ ਦੱਸ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ, Google ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵੀਡੀਓਜ਼ ਦੱਸ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ, Spotify ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸੌਂਗਸ ਰਿਕਮੈਂਡ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ, Netflix ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੂਵੀਜ਼ ਦੱਸ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਕੰਪਨੀਆਂ ਕਰ ਪਾ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਆਫ ਡੇਟਾ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਕੰਪਨੀਆਂ ਕੋਲ ਆਪਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰਾ ਡੇਟਾ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਇੰਟਰੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਡੇਟਾ ਰਿਕਾਰਡ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਥੀਸ ਕੰਪਨੀਜ਼ ਆਰ ਏਬਲ ਟੂ ਮੇਕ ਥੀਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਕਟਸ, recommend you. This is like one just example, but it all starts with the data. Okay. Again, ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਕ online demo ਦੇਖੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਿਛਲੇ lecture ਵਿੱਚ available ਹੈ. This demo is available on our channel as like one of our previous lecture where we saw that how AI can be created to detect cancer. And this is a real patient's data actually. So once you have access to the real patient's data, which is input to the model, you are able to do amazing things like you can create a smart doctor which can detect if there is cancer or not cancer. ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹ ਜੋ ਲੈਕਚਰ ਆਨਲਾਈਨ ਅਵੇਲੇਬਲ ਹੈ ਆਪਣਾ, ਇਹਦੇ ਤੋਂ ਕੁਝ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਵ ਅਟੈਂਡ ਵੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ। ਇਫ ਯੂ ਮਿਸਡ ਇਟ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਟੈਂਡ ਕਰੋ ਆਨਲਾਈਨ। ਇਸ ਲੈਕਚਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਪੇਸ਼ੈਂਟਸ ਦੇ ਡੇਟਾ ਨੂੰ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਸਮਾਰਟ AI ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੋ ਦੱਸ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਪੇਸ਼ੈਂਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਕੈਂਸਰ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਰੀਅਲ ਡੇਟਾ, ਵੈਰੀ ਕੰਪਲੈਕਸ ਡੇਟਾ, ਐਂਡ ਵੀ ਕੈਨ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਐਨ AI model to do this for us. But again, here the bigger first step is we need the data actually. We had discussed another thing like plant diseases. This demo is also available online. Apna recording which available in the Punjabi orientation session, where if you give input the plant leaves, AI can detect what is the kind of plant disease available. Like these are real plant leaves. It can also say if the plant is healthy. So is which we the first thing we need is data. So ਇਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਜੋ example online ਦੇਖੀ, ਆਪਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ northern India ਵਿੱਚ farming community ਨੂੰ belong ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਫਾਰਮਰਸ ਦੀਆਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕੇਸਸ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡੇਟਾ ਨਾਲ ਹੈਂਡਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਸੇ ਡੇਟਾ ਅਵੇਲੇਬਲ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰਾ ਡੇਟਾ ਓਪਨ ਸੋਰਸ ਅਵੇਲੇਬਲ ਹੈ। ਇਫ ਯੂ ਹੈਵ ਐਕਸੈਸ ਟੂ ਦਿਸ ਕਾਈਂਡ ਆਫ ਥਿੰਗਸ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਰੀਅਲ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕੇਸਸ ਨੂੰ ਹੈਂਡਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਰਾਈਟ। ਮੋਸਟ ਰੀਸੈਂਟਲੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਟੈਕਸਟ ਐਕਸਟ੍ਰੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਫਰਮ ਇਮੇਜਸ ਤੋਂ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਸੀ। ਸੋ ਮੋਸਟ ਰੀਸੈਂਟਲੀ we looked at how you can extract text from images, right? Again, here also we saw that we need data like input image and then this kind of text AI can detect online. ये अपना fourth class which OCR the live demo available है, this is available in our fourth class, okay? But here also the first step was that we need data to start with. So ਆਪਾਂ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੀ definition ਜੋ AI ਦੀ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਸੀ, so this is the first definition which we learned about AI, which answered what AI can do. So if you want to answer this question, just think about what you can do yourself and what you can do with your intelligence. You can create an AI system to do that, and sometimes we are able to create AI systems which are even able to do that better than us, better than humans. So you can write like humans, like ChatGPT. You can talk like humans, like text to speech, speech to text. You can see like humans, like recognize objects and text in images. You can detect patterns better than humans, like cancers or predict diseases. ਆਪਾਂ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਡੈਫੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਜੋ AI ਦੀ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਸੀ, AI ਕਰ ਕੀ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ, ਲਾਈਕ ਦੈਟ ਡੈਫੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਇਜ਼ ਆਨਸਰਿੰਗ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ, ਉਹ ਦੱਸ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆਰਟੀਫੀਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਇੰਟੈਲੀਜੈਂਸ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਰਟੀਫੀਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਇੰਟੈਲੀਜੈਂਸ ਨਾਲ ਉਹ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਖੁਦ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਵਟ ਐਵਰ ਇੰਟੈਲੀਜੈਂਸ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਇੰਟੈਲੀਜੈਂਸ ਨਾਲ ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਟਾਸਕ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਸਿਮਿਲਰ ਟਾਸਕ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਕ AI ਸਿਸਟਮ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਔਰ ਕੁਝ ਅਜਿਹੇ ਟਾਸਕ ਵੀ ਨੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਆਪਾਂ AI ਸਿਸਟਮਸ ਹਿਊਮਨਸ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਬੈਟਰ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ। Not all systems. Is definition the main goal, like it's trying to say that we are even trying to beat humans, ਆਪਾਂ humans ਨੂੰ beat ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਹਿਊਮਨਸ ਰਾਈਟ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਹਿਊਮਨਸ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਆਪਾਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ, ਆਪਾਂ ਪੈਟਰਨਸ, ਕੰਪਲੈਕਸ ਪੈਟਰਨਸ ਡਿਟੈਕਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਰਾਈਟ। ਉਹ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ AI ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਬਟ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਡੈਫੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ AI ਚੱਲਦੀ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੈ, ਹਾਊ ਡਸ AI ਵਰਕ। ਇਹ ਡੈਫੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ AI ਨੂੰ ਚਲਾਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਡੇਟਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ। ਯੂ ਯੂਜ਼ ਦਾ ਡੇਟਾ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੈਟਰਨਸ ਡਿਸਕਵਰ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਨੌਲੇਜ ਡਿਸਕਵਰ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਉਹੀ ਪੈਟਰਨਸ ਤੇ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਨੂੰ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੈਡਿਕਸ਼ਨ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੇ ਸੀ, ਰਾਈਟ। So how does AI work? So using the data, we discover the patterns, hidden patterns. These patterns, sometimes we are able to understand. Sometimes these patterns are too complex for humans to understand. And we use these hidden patterns to make predictions. So AI the patterns ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਣ ਉੱਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਹੈ। This is an open research topic. ਕੁਝ ਲੈਕਚਰਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ AI ਦੀ ਐਕਸਪਲੇਨੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਤੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਕਸ਼ਨ ਦਿਆਂਗਾ ਇਨ ਦਾ ਫਿਊਚਰ, ਕਿ AI ਜੋ ਪੈਟਰਨਸ ਡਿਟੈਕਟ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ। So in simple terms, we have these three steps: data, and then AI, and then output. This is all where it started. This is like the journey of data, which I was trying to tell you, that age of intelligence came because the age of connectivity created so much data around us. We also looked at the steps in creating AI in the past, but the first step in creating AI was always started with the data. So these are more advanced steps. In our past lectures, we have understood these steps in more details, but we started with the data. We are selecting the AI model, our intelligence, and then we are training this model, and then we are testing this model. So these are the different steps in creating AI. Any problem you want to model, you need to follow these steps. Sometimes we also learn that you can follow these steps in many different ways and different order. Like we learned that ChatGPT is created by following these steps multiple times. Using AI also follows similar steps, that we always need, again, data to test what kind of intelligence we have created. And then that intelligence is already there, selected intelligence, and it's giving us the output. ਆਪਾਂ ਪਾਸਟ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਕੁਝ ਲੈਕਚਰਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਸਟੈਪਸ ਪੜ੍ਹੇ ਨੇ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਡੇਟਾ ਨਾਲ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ, ਇੰਟੈਲੀਜੈਂਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਿਲੈਕਟ ਕੀਤਾ, ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕੰਪਲੈਕਸ ਬ੍ਰੇਨ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਣਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਬ੍ਰੇਨ ਨੂੰ ਟ੍ਰੇਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਤੇ ਟੈਸਟ ਕੀਤਾ। ਇਹ ਸਟੈਪਸ ਜੋ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਸ਼ਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਨੇ, ਯੂਸੇਜ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਟੈਪਸ ਵੀ ਸਿਮਿਲਰ ਹੀ ਨੇ, ਕਿ ਡੇਟਾ ਨਾਲ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਕੀਤਾ, ਜੋ ਇੰਟੈਲੀਜੈਂਸ ਟ੍ਰੇਨ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੋਈ ਸੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਡੇਟਾ ਇਨਪੁਟ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਆਊਟਪੁੱਟ ਲਿਆ। ਇਨ ਦਿਸ ਵਨ ਦ ਡੇਟਾ ਇਜ਼ X. in most of the text books ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ X ਨਾਲ ਡੇਟਾ ਰਿਪਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। AI ਨੂੰ ਫੰਕਸ਼ਨ ਨਾਲ FX ਨਾਲ ਰਿਪਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਫੰਕਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਨਪੁਟ X ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। And finally, the output is often represented with Y. So in the books, you will start with X, have a function FX, and then we create the output Y. But here, the first step, let us look at the data next, the journey of data. and then some little bit initial coding for data. Okay. We also looked at how to run AI on like on Google Colab, like with Python, right? We looked at that so that you don't have to set up all these things locally. In this one also, the first step was the loading the data. Like in this big one, the model is showing and all, but we always started with the data. We needed Python software stacks and powerful computer to run it. All these things you can do online. All these steps which we learned in AI are actually the AI code steps as well. When you want to code this, we are coding for these steps. So ਜੋ ਆਪਾਂ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਲੈਕਚਰਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇਖਿਆ, ਇਸ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਸਮਰੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡੇਟਾ ਨੂੰ ਲੋਡ ਕਰਕੇ AI ਮਾਡਲ, ਟ੍ਰੇਨ ਮਾਡਲ, ਟੈਸਟ ਮਾਡਲ, ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਟੈਪਸ ਜੋ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਉਹੀ ਉਸ ਦਾ ਹੀ ਕੋਡ ਆਪਾਂ ਲਿਖਾਂਗੇ ਪਾਈਥਨ ਵਿੱਚ। ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਨੀ ਹੀ ਕੋਡਿੰਗ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਕੋਡਿੰਗ ਇਨਫ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ AI ਐਕਸਪਰਟ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ। ਉਸ ਦੇ ਆਸ-ਪਾਸ ਦੀ ਕੋਡਿੰਗ ਯੂ ਕੈਨ ਲਰਨ ਓਵਰ ਟਾਈਮ, but this is the main coding ਜੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ। So you can create AI whether you are in school or in a bachelor or master program, or you are just trying to learn for fun. This is more than enough for you to learn and start coding like things. ਉਹਦੇ ਆਸੇ-ਪਾਸੇ ਦੀ ਕੋਡਿੰਗ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੋਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਝ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ, but AI needs only more or less this much coding. ਇਸ ਦੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਿੰਪਲ ਜਿਹੀ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਦੇਖੀ ਸੀ how you can run AI in your phones, right? Let me play this video. But ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਲਿੰਕ ਪਿਛਲੀ ਲੈਕਚਰ ਦਾ ਓਪਨ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਤਾਂ I showed you that in your phone, like you can open it and click run all like this one, and it will train an AI model in your phone. This is recording from my phone itself. ਪਿਛਲੇ ਕਲਾਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਕੋਡਿੰਗ AI model ਦੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ on your phone, just give me a thumbs up if you're able to run this on your phone. Okay, so many students were able to run this on your phone. That sounds great. So at this stage, let me stop for any questions, and let me also see if the chat has any questions. Okay. Will AI help us to save country? Can AI replace humans? AI is two things that need to learn about it. Can AI replace humans? So is AI dependent, or are we dependent on AI? So I think it's काफी open questions ने. See, so I told you that whatever you can do with your intelligence, AI can do it. Now that is the question for you to answer. Can it replace you or not? I think there are many ways to look at it. It's often said that AI will replace humans, those humans who don't know AI. So you can think it that way. AI will replace those humans who don't know AI. Like that's how many of the leaders, big leaders, you will see them talking. My understanding is कि once AI become cheaper and cheaper, जब AI बनाना सस्ता हो जाएगा, then we will not need a human to afford like their hours and their precious time for simple tasks. AI can be used there. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇਖੋ, like for example, you don't need bullock carts today to take like goods from say one city to another. You have motor cars and trains. So in those motor cars and trains have replaced bullock carts. The same way you don't need in the next few years for a human to be a decision maker. A smart decision maker, like a more smarter decision maker, will be able to replace humans. It will happen gradually. It will happen over time. Now humans can be replaced it doesn't mean that all humans will be replaced. It has different implications. There are so many laws, so many things needed. But this is a good question for you all to ask, and this is also a good question for all of you to understand that ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਲਈ ਸਿੱਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ AI, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਫਿਊਚਰ 'ਚ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋ ਜਾਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੈ, right? And things which you are learning today in your schools and colleges will change a lot. By the time you reach market, चीज़ें इन्हें बदल जाएंगी that if you know these all things, it will help you actually a lot better. Okay. Now there are questions like army can also be replaced, right? So those questions, it's not that we cannot replace it. There are so many things around AI which you need to also understand. We will learn. This is an introduction course. In more advanced courses, I'll try to teach what are the limits of AI, like what is it that we cannot do today, right? But before that, let me teach you what you can do today. Okay. So I know many students cannot understand Punjabi, so I often repeat the things in two ways. बहुत सारे बच्चे ने साडे को जिन्होंने इंग्लिश समझ नहीं आती. There are many students who feel it tough to understand English, so I kind of try to explain it in both ways. Hanji, we will start. AI agents are nothing but a smarter connection of different AIs working together. So we learn that AI agent ਕੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਨਸੈਪਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਟੁਗੇਦਰ ਬਾਈਂਡ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਆਟੋਮੈਟਿਕ ਵਰਕਫਲੋ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਇੱਕ ਏਜੰਟ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ so it's a smart cool term but the things we are able to do this today because we have very smarter AIs. Agents like automatic agents has existed since 90s. It's just that the decision making in these automatic agents is so smart today that they can kind of make a human writing email, a human kind of browsing internet. इसलिए उन्होंने पर agents का नाम दे देने हैं क्योंकि they're very close to automatic human workflow. चलो आप continue करते हैं if there are no more complex questions ahead. How many of you actually attended the past lectures? Give me a thumbs up. So okay, it's a lot of. And how many of you actually have watched online channel orientation videos and all? I would ask you to watch them now because now you understand what is AI way better. Okay, so from the thumbs up, I can see कि ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਰੇ thumbs you have watched it. So ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ videos ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਲੇ lecture ਵਿੱਚ ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਈਆਂ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਜਾਣਗੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕੀ ਚਾਹ ਰਿਹਾ. So all the videos in the first lectures which we didn't understood about the workflow steps, you will now understand it because over time we have gone more simpler, deeper, and more deeper with so many examples, right? I think Sharanjit Kaur is asking what can be the startup in AI. So you will see that so India has good things that we have so much AI space. We are just beginning to collect data in all industries. Like you look around you, you have now access to some small data sets. So it is such a big opportunity in India to create an AI startup. You can create a startup in anything you are interested in. ਤੁਸੀਂ AI startup ਕਿਸੇ ਚੀਜ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸਕੋਪ ਆ so that is the beautiful thing in India. Devinder Singh, you have raised your hand. If you have a question, please write it in the chat. In the last part, I will allow you to all to unmute you. But for now, let's continue with the lectures to maintain the flow. So let us dive deep into the data next. So in this one, we were just doing a recap of what we have done until today, but I was trying to connect that story with the data. So the steps in creating AI starts with the data first. Like the data, steps in using AI also starts with the data first. So what is data, right? So data is information like numbers or words or images. So whatever you see around you using your senses is data. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਸੇ-ਪਾਸੇ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਆਪਦੇ ਸੈਂਸਰਸ ਨਾਲ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੋ, ਅੱਖਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੋ, ਕੰਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਹੋ, ਰਾਈਟ, ਸਕਿਨ ਨਾਲ ਟੱਚ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਡੇਟਾ ਆ. That is the data which your body is capturing. So humans are able to capture so many data sets with their sensors. Our brain is processing them. There are many data sets which we human cannot capture. We have a limit of how much sound decibels we can listen, right? You have a limit, like human eyes cannot perceive images faster than a certain rate. Like if image is moving faster than 15-16 hertz, to humans it is like a continuous video. So human sensors have limit. ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੀ think in a way ਕਿ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਆਸੇ-ਪਾਸੇ ਜੋ ਡੇਟਾ ਆ ਜੋ ਹਿਊਮਨਸ ਕੈਪਚਰ ਕਰ ਪਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਹਿਊਮਨਸ ਦੇ ਸੈਂਸਰ ਦੀ ਲਿਮਿਟ ਆ. So the physical sensors which you create around you, right? Your phone sensors, they also have limits. Like phone have a limit of like 60 hertz. Most of the phone, like when they're capturing images. Some phones, smarter phones, which allow you to still camera, very fast frame rates. There you can capture like still motion videos. So depending on the sensor quality you have, like some phones capture audio at say 30k hertz, 144k hertz even. So phones the limits ne? Sensors which you wear like your smart watches have limits on how much sensors you have. So जो भी data created, जो information data which है like number, words or images, वो depend करता है कि तुसी किधे नाल collect कर रहे हो. Like some phones are capturing HD videos which you like. Some videos are so much blurry that you are saying this is bad data. For example, simple example, the data can be like how many hours you have studied versus what is your exam score. This exam score, I can say that how well you understood AI. Like say, if you look 1 hour, 2 hours, then it's 50, 2 hours, 55, 3 hours study, 60, right? So you can say if somebody studied for 10 hours, maybe they can score 95 say, out of 100. This is very simple data, but it's telling you that you can put these numbers, and this is actually how you define data in Python. This data definition is in Python. It's very easy to read, and that's how Python is also written. Like this is a dictionary in Python. In Python which ਆਪਾਂ dictionary ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ numbers ਲਿਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ. In one of the lecture I showed you, like even the images which you are using to train AI, internally AI is only looking at numbers. So AI cannot learn from images or words. AI ਨੂੰ images ਤੇ words ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ, AI ਨੂੰ numbers ਹੀ ਸਮਝ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ. So images ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ numbers ਦੀ form ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਲਿਖਦੇ ਆ. So ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਲਿਖਦੇ ਆ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਿੱਖਾਂਗੇ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼. But let us start today with simpler data, simpler numbers, okay? How many of you little bit understood what is data here, like from all the story in the past slides? Give me a thumbs up. This is most simplest definition of data. Data, the definitions, har book which alag milnegi. So you have different definitions of data. This definition of data is actually more closer to how I want to use it in the Python code. So you want to write in the Python code like numbers. You can also write it as words, like here can be words here, which will again convert into numbers. And then you can also write it in the form of images, like in the Python, then we'll also convert images into numbers. But that's how you write it. Why is data important? So all the entire story is that AI learns from data. That is one of the reasons that most recent form of AI we say as data science. There are past form of AI like 60s, 70s, 80s AI where we didn't learn from data. ਆਪਾਂ ਉਸ AI ਦੀ ਸੋਰੀ ਜੀ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਕਸ਼ਨ ਅਗਲੇ 2-3 ਲੈਕਚਰਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਦੇਖਾਂਗੇ. But ਜਿਹੜੀ most recent AI ਹੈ, that's learning from data. It can find patterns and make predictions. Now let me ask you a question. Like if say somebody studied for say 2.5 hours, like we said that at 2 hours they get 55, at 3 hours they get 60. If somebody studied for 2.5 hours, what should be the exam score? ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਬੰਦਾ 2.5 ਘੰਟੇ ਪੜ੍ਹੇ, ਰਾਈਟ, 2.5 hours, so 1 ਘੰਟੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ 50 marks ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆਏ, 2 ਘੰਟੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ 55, if 2.5 hours ਵਾਸਤੇ how many marks they should get? You can write it in the chat and I will actually see the answers. So this is actually your own AI. This is your own brain. Can it make prediction that some it should lie between 55 and 60, like 2 and 3, right? But what is the number you have in mind, right? So this is where what it means that jo tusi pattern nu prediction kar sakde ho, you can find patterns. Similarly AI can find patterns. It can connect this very simple line and say that okay, 2 to 2.5, it will be somewhere between maybe 57, 58 also. It doesn't have to be simple line, but this data is very simpler, so line is fine. Okay,